How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Ledger results, security flaw affecting DApps, 500k in user losses. So, for anyone who has not used their Ledger to do any DApps today, you are safe. Ledger's Connect Kit library was compromised earlier today, affecting the front end of several DApps, including SushiSwap, Kyber, Revoke.cash, Phantom, and Zapper. The exploit involved a front-end attack that prompted users to connect their wallets through a pop-up, which led you to a token draining risk. The compromised library was injected with malicious code, allowing hackers to divert your funds. Ledger confirmed the vulnerability and removed the malicious version, replacing it with a genuine version. Ledger attributed the exploit's origins to a phishing attack that targeted a former employee, with a bad actor gaining access to internal information. Ledger was loading JavaScript configurations from a CDN without version locking the scripts, a big no-no in programming. Ledger's CDN was then compromised, resulting in multiple DApps getting exposed, so hopefully they pick up their game here. That's pretty disheartening to hear. A post-mortem report from Ledger states that they have worked with Wallet Connect, Chainalysis, and Tether to freeze the threat actor's wallet. A hardware wallet firm also said that they had rotated security keys for publishing the GitHub repo. They also mentioned that they pretty much locked down the repo and made it where it's harder for anyone to push. Only a select group of people are able to push the code, meaning approve any changes to code. This is another thing that should have been done from the beginning. So, very bad programming practices. Ledger also stated that its hardware devices and the Ledger Live app were not compromised. Gensler says SEC is taking a new look at spot Bitcoin ETF proposals. In an interview with CNBC on Thursday, Gensler said that the SEC is considering between 8 and a dozen filings for the spot Bitcoin ETF. There's about 13 proposals, so that sounds like one of them's already excluded. We had in the past denied a number of these applications, but the courts here in the District of Columbia weighed in on that, and so we're taking a new look based upon the court rulings, Gensler said. When asked if he was directly alluding to the grayscale ruling, he skirted around that question, and he said they do everything within the laws Congress has passed and how the courts interpret them. Well, the Congress never gave you the power to do anything with crypto, Gensler. Over on the Dixie, we are seeing a bit of a drop here. We are dropping to this green Fibonacci zone. We tried to break it like we have warned you. If we are not able to make a bounce here and continue forward, it's very likely we will come down to that 99 area that we warned you about next. Stochastic is coming down, RSI is coming down, VWAP, money flow, and momentum are falling into that bearish territory, meaning we are likely going to get further sell-off. Anyone who is confused by what I just said, we will go over this a little slower for you now. So indicators, you go here, we have Market Cipher B edits and Market Cipher A free version. A lot of you are picking up on this free version, Market Cipher A, which is great, but you should also use Market Cipher B because it tells you the trend of the market. It tells you if people are buying or selling. So for Market Cipher A, we do not have the typical settings. Here is our input settings, so you want to change them as follows. And then here is the style settings, so you will want to change those as follows. Right here, you can change your opacity to 70%. We also have some videos explaining the Fibonacci retracement, which is this big area you see with all the colored bars. If we zoom out, that's not there by default. So watch our Trading Basics playlist. I'll cover a lot of the things you will want to learn if you are just getting into trading or you are interested in learning what kind of things to look for when trading. Our stochastic is starting to push down. This stochastic is our double line on our Market Cipher B. This double line has this gold and blue line. When gold is above blue, we typically see bearish pressure, meaning we will have a sell-off. When blue is above gold, we typically have bullish pressure, meaning we will see price increase. Alright, here's an example. Gold under the blue, so blue above gold, we are pushing forward. Gold above blue, we did take a bit of a drop. Blue above gold, we did increase slightly. So there's some examples there. This stochastic gives the strength to our RSI. This RSI is our red line here. It is the relative strength index. If this breaks below 30 and the stochastic breaks below 30, they are in bearish territory. Anything under 30 for these two is bearish, anything above 30 is bullish. They do not go below 0 though, and they do not go way above past 100. Our RSI is curling away, pointing down, with the stochastic falling, suggesting if the stochastic does not make a bounce here, that RSI is going to continue down, meaning we will have a heavy trend to the downside on our most recent 14 candles. Our money flow is this wave you see here on this bottom portion of our oscillator. It goes green and it goes red. When it's green, it's bullish. When it's red, it's bearish. When it's green, we have people buying. When it's red, we have people selling. Our VWAP is the thing you want to watch out of these three for which way you can trend, because the VWAP is your medium trend buying or selling pressure. When it's above the 0, it's bullish. When it's below 0, it's bearish, just like the money flow and just like this momentum, which is this big blue wave here. When the big blue wave is up here, it's bullish. When it's down here, it's bearish. Just like money flow and VWAP. These three work in tandem, just like how the stochastic and RSI work together. Again, if you're confused by the stochastic and RSI and you want to learn those, that's in our trading basics video. Our money flow is rejecting that neutral, pulling under with our momentum and our VWAP. If this continues, that means we do have price action to the sell side, meaning we will continue to decline here. Over on the total, this is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, so this is all of our altcoins. Our momentum wave is this big blue wave. We are rolling away. Stochastic's pushing down. It does want to make a bullish cross and push forward, so the RSI will try to rebound here if the stochastic can continue forward. However, if that stochastic rolls over here, the RSI is likely going to follow. Our VWAP is trying to push through that neutral and gain some bullish momentum. If the VWAP is able to push through the neutral and become bullish, then we will see our money flow and momentum continue to the bullish side and our altcoins can continue forward. However, if this money flow rolls over and the VWAP makes a rejection here, it's very likely we will start to see a sell-off. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are starting to see some sell pressure pick back up with yesterday or today's candle, however you want to look at it. This candle did drop below this green candle, so if we get further red candles and break this EMA, it's very likely we will continue to the support level that we have mentioned and fill this gap at minimum. Our momentum is coming down. It's into the bearish territory as that VWAP is favoring the bearish territory. If this VWAP continues to favor bearish territory, that money flow is going to come down with the momentum and VWAP, and then we will see the bears take over and possibly break dominance further down. RSI is trending down as our stochastic is pretty beat down, so if the stochastic does not make a rebound and get above 30, the RSI is going to continue to sell off here. Over on futures, it does look like we have the possibility to make a rounding top. Sorry about that. That rounding top could take us down from here. We have a long lower shadow candle, pretty much indecision doji candle. Long lower shadow, you usually don't have a top wick. But if it acts as a doji candle, indecision candle, we will see a strong red candle come down, fill the same width as the green candle. If that happens, we're going to see futures most likely make a slide, fill the gaps that we've been warning you about, and push down. Our RSI does want to go flat, as the stochastic was trying to rebound. It's hitting that 30, so if it can cross through 30, we can see some bullish momentum. However, if we see a pullback here, our VWAP and stochastic may reject and pull to the bearish side. Money flow is indecisive. It wants to go bullish, but it looks like it's struggling because the VWAP is trying to favor the bearish territory. If that VWAP continues to favor the bearish territory and rejects or makes a lower high, we will have bearish favor, then we can see price action decline. Over on Bitcoin, we are seeing a bit of a rejection from this higher value area on our volume profile. So this volume profile is made up of ranges, if we can get them to show. Can't quite get that bigger one. I have to delete the one because it's out of range, that's why you just see the line there. But we have a value area high, a point of control, and a value area low here. Your value area high is usually the high spot of your volume profile. Your point of control usually is where you have a medium trend line, and your value area low is usually your bottom basis area. We did snap way above it. You would technically want to draw a new volume profile from this break up to here, which we could delete this one, get rid of it. We can leave this one, even though the value area high for it is way down here, so about 26K. If we go right here, fixed range volume profile, I also have that starred, and that shows up here. So you just go from your break point to the end, and I have it set so it'll automatically keep moving over as long as it can. So that gives us a value area high right around 40K. Why that's important is, I want to move that back real quick. Visibility order, send back. This value area high being at that 40K is showing 40K is our support resistance for the high range of this trend that we are currently in. If we are not able to see further green candles and chop sideways at best, and we start seeing some red candles set in, then it's very likely we will pull back and break the value area high. If that does happen, we're going to continue down to this point of control, which will be around that 36K to 37K area, just like we've warned. And then we have a value area low right around that 32.5K that we could drop down to as well. What you would likely see if we trend down below the value area high is we'll come to the point of control, make a bounce just like any pattern, try to hit the value area high or try to continue forward. If we get rejected at either of those points, it's very likely we will continue down to that value area low. If we do not make a bounce after either breaking or getting near that value area low, then it's very likely we can leave this volume profile and continue down if we start seeing red candles below the value area low. But if we get green candles below the value area low, we will see a bounce and another attempt to the point of control, and that's why these volume profiles are a very helpful tool. Our momentum does want to come down, RSI wants to come down, stochastic's pretty beat down, it's starting to round after trying to cross bullish and heading toward the 30. If we cannot break the 30 here, it's very likely we will continue to roll away. That VWAP is rejecting, crossing to the neutral so far, so if we see a red candle, we're likely going to roll over here. If we take a peek at the 4 hour, we do have a bit of a reversal arrow that wants to bring us down, so I would watch out as we pumped, went sideways, so the reverse of that is going to be a drop most likely. Stochastic's starting to come down, it does want to rebound, our side's pretty flat, momentum's pushing forward as that VWAP's in the bullish territory, but the VWAP's getting lower highs. If it breaks this neutral and makes a lower low, we will have a bear trend starting that can break us lower, so I would watch out for that possibility. Over on the 2 hours, stochastic is selling off pretty strong. RSI is starting to decline as a result. Our momentum is setting up bearish divergence with lower highs as our price is setting up slightly higher highs. Our money flow is trying to push forward, and the VWAP did break back into the bullish territory after breaking bearish and creating a bearish trend, but it's struggling to maintain that bullish strength. If we see the VWAP roll over here, it's very likely the bears will regain control and we will push to 40K at minimum. Remember, we do have those other areas we have been warning about all week, so if you want to know what levels to watch, we made a short yesterday, you could watch that. RSI is coming out, stochastic's coming down, money flow is coming down, stochastic and our momentum have bearish divergence, If this VWAP does not make it bounce off that neutral and it breaks this neutral, we are getting lower highs, so that would set a lower low. That money flow is going to reject with momentum, bringing the bears into control and possibly dropping price action. So I would watch out for that possibility. I'd say the next 3 or 4 candles, we should have a pretty decent idea on if we are going to bounce or drop through. Over on graph, we are trying to push forward. We are trying to push toward our value area high, or our resistance area on the 4 hour. But we did get rejected slightly. We are starting to come down, so if we do continue to come down, this could create a double top. That double top would be the third touch to the resistance line, and it would possibly break us down to our support. RSI wants to come down, stochastic is trying to blast forward. It is above that 30, so if it can continue with the bullish momentum here, our RSI will continue forward and we may invalidate this pattern. But that VWAP is trying to continue forward. Money flow is a little iffy. I would watch the lower time frames. If we get a sell-off on our total, then it's very likely we will see further pushes to the downside. Our stochastic is pretty overbought. It's been riding overbought for quite some time, so it is likely going to drop at some time. RSI is coming down, momentum's pushing away. Money flow wants to come out, and the VWAP is getting close to that neutral. So if the lower time frames are weak, this VWAP could break and we could see everything else start to slip from here. Over on 2 hour, you can see we came up with those candles. We're filling those candle wicks. So it's very likely, if we do not get strong green candles from here, that we're going to reject, break the 16,316 and push lower. Stochastic splitting off, RSI is pushing down as a result with a red dot, and momentum has a double red dot as our VWAP wants to break into the bearish territory, and the money flow is starting to go indecisive as we're not too sure if we want to be bullish or bearish there yet. If we look to the 1 hour, our money flow is maintaining some strong bullish momentum, but the VWAP is starting to favor the bearish territory. If this VWAP continues to favor the bearish territory, it's very likely price action will eventually slide away from here. RSI wants to come down, stochastic selling off, momentum's pushing out with a red dot as that VWAP wants to break bearish. So I would watch very closely over the next couple candles here as well. Over on Anchor on the daily, we are seeing a pretty strong push up. We do have a very big wick to the downside though, so I would watch out for us to come back down and attempt to fill that wick. RSI is starting to round, stochastic's pushing forward, money flow is pretty flat. VWAP is trying to push through the neutral, so if VWAP can continue with bullish momentum, we can continue forward. But if this VWAP starts to weaken like Bitcoin and Graph, we're likely going to roll over. So that's why you want to watch these lower time frames and see what they're doing. Our stochastic is making bearish divergence as price is starting to push away, but stochastic is remaining as overbought as it can. We have a reversal arrow here that wants to bring us down. RSI is heading down. VWAP starting to push down, so if we come down for a lower low, we could have a bearish trend starting. Momentum wants to roll away as that VWAP's coming down, and the money flow would be in jeopardy of breaking to the bearish side if that VWAP and momentum do push lower. Over on the 2 hour, you can see that reversal arrow here after chopping sideways did pump us forward. Stochastic's making a bearish cross and pushing lower. We do have bearish divergence, RSI is coming down, momentum's rolling away. Our VWAP wants to break into the bearish territory, and the money flow is pretty flat. If the VWAP cannot make a strong bounce here and make a higher low with higher highs, then we may see the bears regain control. Over on the 1 hour here, we are starting to kind of chop sideways after dropping, so that would be concerning because that can set us up for a bear flag, which would give us further downside. Momentum wants to roll away as that VWAP's edging into the bearish territory. Stochastic's starting to push down. The RSI is pretty flat, so we're pretty indecisive here. If this VWAP rejects this neutral and continues lower, it's very likely the bears will regain control and drop price action. So I would just watch the next few candles and see if the VWAP maintains that bearish momentum or not. That seems to be pretty much the theme of the night. So stochastic wants to come down, RSI is pretty flat. that VWAP is struggling to break our neutral here on XRP for the daily. Money flow is pretty flat, so we are within this range, but we're struggling to really go anywhere. And with the rest of the market looking how it is, it's very likely we will see these EMAs reject, which will signal us dropping and possibly retesting the support around that 57 zone. RSI is pretty flat here. It was trying to go forward, but the VWAP's hanging out in the bearish territory and the stochastic took a nosedive. If the VWAP cannot cross through and the stochastic cannot make a bounce here, it's very likely we would have more sell pressure ahead of us. Over on the 4 hour, we are trying to stay above all our EMA bands, so I would watch out for that. Usually when you are above your EMA bands for a prolonged amount of time, you do snap below them. An example would be like here, we were above, and then we just dropped down and filled all that, retraced all those gains, and then we did bounce back. But that's just an example why to be cautious, because we did push way under our bands, and we're under our main band, and then we snapped way up. So now that we're above it, I would just be cautious. Momentum wants to push forward, money flow is coming out, stochastic wants to push forward, VWAP is starting to get lower highs, so if that VWAP breaks to the bearish side, I would watch out, but everything else does signal that we could continue forward. Over on the 2 hour, we have a green dot here, so if we can get this VWAP to maintain bullish momentum and our money flow can make a decent bounce from here, we could see price action continue forward and we could try to break that 65 cent area. Stochastic does have bearish divergence and it wants to push away. Momentum's starting to round out, money flow is going flat, and the VWAP wants to break to the bearish side, so I would exercise some caution here. Over on the 1 hour, we are in a pretty decent rising channel. Actually, could be a bit of a bull flag. Don't know why I didn't use the parallel channel again this time. Actually, no. Not really a bull flag or bear flag. It's too choppy. It could be like reaching out, but there's not really any patterns I trade that look like that. RSI wants to head down. Stochastic has bearish divergence. Momentum has bearish divergence. It has a red dot. Money flow wants to come out, and the VWAP wants to break to the bearish side. So if the 1 hour continues to get red candles over the next few hours, it's very likely we could start a bit of a sell-off here, break these EMA bands, and see price action trend lower. Over on Algo, we did push way above and invalidate that descending triangle. So Algo is just pumping, going mad. We did see Algo drop off very brutally comparative to the rest of the market, as the rest of the market didn't really have as much of a sell-off when Algo was in this range back here, and Algo just continued to dump. So we may be seeing this golden pocket help manipulate us back up. Remember, I did mention if we are near the golden pocket, you have those wild swings. Here's a good example. We had a bearish pattern. Again, no patterns 100%. There's no crystal ball in trading. If you're looking for it, just quit trading. But we did push to this golden pocket. The golden pocket's in that Trading Basics Fibonacci video, and we are seeing some manipulation. If we continue forward, we could push to that support resistance area around that 25 cents. However, just be warned, we could see just as volatile pushes back down. Now, why I mentioned that Algo's beat down more than other coins is because I think we may be able to hold a better support area than some of our other coins if we start seeing some sell-off. I don't think we may get quite as low here on Algo just because it's been beat down more. That's not necessarily what has to happen, but that's just my 2 cents. Our stochastic wants to round away, RSI wants to push down, momentum wants to push away. It does have a red dot on the RSI, so I would watch out. Money flow is starting to sell off, and the VWAP is struggling to break through that neutral, so if the lower time frames start looking weak, I would not bet on this rise lasting very long. We could just be capturing this wick. Our stochastic wants to sell off here. RSI wants to take a nosedive, so I would watch if that gold goes above blue on that stochastic. Our momentum wants to roll away as that VWAP's about to break through the neutral. So if VWAP breaks through the neutral here, we could start to see a rejection and start to push lower. Now here we may be able to make some sort of a flag possibility. We'll do that with our parallel channel this time. We would technically be breaking above it though, if we did have a flag possibility. The break above would not be too exciting. It could get us to the green, so just above that support resistance area we've been saying we could get to, but I would just watch out with the rest of the market. VWAP's coming down, everything else looks a little down, so I would just watch the lower time frames very closely. The 2 hour looks like we are sighting up a bit of a rounding top, so I would exercise caution. Stochastic has bearish divergence and wants to push down. Momentum wants to push down with a double red dot. VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory, and the money flow is in jeopardy of breaking bearish as well. If the VWAP favors the bearish territory from here, we could retrace a lot of these gains. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is starting to push off. RSI wants to lose some strength as a result. Momentum's starting to push off with bearish divergence. VWAP's breaking into that bearish territory, starting to get lower lows, so if it comes back up, gets lower highs, and pulls the money flow under, we could see the bears resume control, break this channel, and invalidate that bullish possibility. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.